Hotel brothers and sisters, black pals, always giving honor to the creator, giving honor to the ancestors. Chief of staff, brother Harris Abdul, my sisters, my in-laws, my father, and all your ancestors that have moved in the ancestral realm, my subscribers, my donors, my supporters, my viewers, family members, and all those who are fighting for our liberation as well as our salvation in the black nation. By request, brothers and sisters, I am going to do a brief video on historical black colleges and the difference between the outcome of those who attend these Ivy League schools as well as these historical black colleges and universities. You know, first of all, we have to understand, you know, that you know, it's a big major difference between Ivy League and HBCs. You know, something that we need to understand in terms of why our brothers and sisters are unable to achieve or have a career, but most of all, have businesses. You know, now, as you can see, these are Ivy League graduates. You know, if you look very carefully, you can see that, you know, the attitude and demeanor and energy is different because they know they are guaranteed a career in whatever they pursue. Being high will never be a problem for them. You know, Yale, Harvard grads, as you can see, they're guaranteed to be doctors, lawyers, surgeons, CEOs of corporations, and so on and so on. But the history of HBCs, where our brothers and sisters and our ancestors, as you can see here, went through so much, and even it was even a division in the HBCs according to levels of melanin, skin tone. You know, the fair-skinned people were definitely hired first, and the heavily melanated people were last resorts, although they had the same credentials and possibly a high IQ. And these HBCs, most of them were built on the backs of our ancestors, brick by brick. There was no modern machinery or anything of that sort. And this is how bad our ancestors wanted your great-grandmother to attend some type of college or university. They were willing to build the universities and colleges by hand. And as you can see, these are these white Ivy League fucking colleges. Penn, Columbia, Harvard, Dartmouth, Princeton, Brown, Cornell, Yale, which are not only predominantly white, but dominated by whites. You know, and it is very, very difficult and strenuous on our brothers and sisters that attend Harvard or Yale or any of these schools. I had a picture of some young brothers with hoodies on, Yale hoodies on, young brothers. And I will retrieve that picture at a later time. You know, but it's possible. We always make it into whatever we desire to make it in, if we're fortunate enough to do so. But see, some of our young people have those bourgeois, talented tenants, boule parents, that their only concern is their son or daughter. No one else in the black community in which they left to move to the white suburbs doesn't matter. You know, there are tons of HBCs, and they will gladly place you into a HBC. But to get an Ivy League, much is a whole new different ball game. And once they complete, these crackers complete going to these Ivy League schools, they are not employees. This is some of the top 10 corporations in the world. And a lot of these Harvard, Yale, Princeton graduates will become CEOs. They may start off as just a basic employee, you know, with a high six-figure salary to start, company car, corporate account, and they're on their way to having their own corporation. And the reason why they start where they start, which is a dream come true for the average black college graduate, is because they teach their children how to run corporations. And that's what Ivy League schools teach. They don't teach their cracker children how to be good employees. They teach them how to run countries, businesses, law firms, and the like. And these HBCs teach our babies to be good employees for these crackers. And this is where they're plugged in to the corporate structure once they complete their term at the Ivy League college and universities. They're plugged in. Everyone is grandfathered in. Everyone knows someone, and it's so much pull that all they have to do is literally complete school and the world is theirs. And they sit on top of bread. Till money doesn't become an issue. Power becomes an issue. While the black college graduate is a cashier in a local supermarket or department store, few of them may be fortunate enough to be an employee in the corporate firm if they are considered a non-threatening black male, which more likely they'll be homosexual. And this is the firm. And they always have to have some type of token Negro. Always have to have a token Negro, just in case the EOE comes in. Equal Opportunity Employment people come in. They can have an alibi and say, yes, you know, we have Jamal in the mailroom. We have LaQuisha in collections. Collections where she bugs people at home and presses them out. You know, a strenuous headache-ass job. And working in the mailroom, down in the basement, like a fucking dungeon rat. Only coming up to bring mail and to go to the damn soda machine and go back down and have lunch in the mailroom. While the crackers are upstairs, you know, in the employees' lounge with takeout, gourmet takeout, not a fucking pizza. I'm talking about one of the 4-star restaurants And I've seen it in D.C. Well, they have carts where they roll these crackers, their food, into these gigantic corporate buildings. Their hors d'oeuvres and all of this shit. You know, their shrimps and their wine and all this type of shit, which they don't eat. Crackers don't eat complete meals. Pick over food. And that's why they say, let's discuss this over dinner. Because they really don't eat dinner. And see, they talk so much during dinner that they shit comes out of their mouth, food particles, spit, saliva. Because when everyone talks from time to time, you do let out a spray out your mouth. And they're famous for that. And they want you to eat behind them. So be careful, brothers and sisters, if you're working in these corporate buildings and they tell you, you know, you can have the what's left over in the break room and all this bullshit. Be careful. I advise you not to eat that shit. Because see, these devils are nasty. They are very, very nasty. But the bottom line is that these HBCs teach our brothers and sisters how to become good employees, and they teach their children how to run corporations, how to run countries. And so you see all this shit, just like on the news. Fox News is a white, racist, right-wing, white-dominated news station where they really talk about black people all day in codes, all motherfucking day. And you sit there and grin and skin with these motherfuckers, believing everything that they say. But when a brother or sister comes on YouTube with the real information and news, you question them. You're so critical of your own. Where'd you get your information from? Oh, that's not true. Blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. You this, you that. You know, you do all of that. But name how many times you have called the news, the local news in your town or city, and questioned where did they get their information from. You've never done that. And you have the opportunity to do that with just a phone call. But you won't, for your fear of this goddamn cracker and your hatred and disdain for yourself. Because when you look in the mirror, you see me, I see you. And with self-hatred, you hate everything that resembles you. So you don't have a problem putting shit in the comment box. Negative bullshit. That's the truth. But you really don't like the truth. You want some wet, watered down bullshit that will make you feel good and make your white friends feel good and comfortable. I'm not making no motherfucking cracker comfortable. None. You can plug into this channel if you want. You can disguise yourself as being black and be a donor, but at some point it will catch up with you. And you can tune in, but I'm not making no motherfucking cracker comfortable. I'm not compromising for shit. I'm not breaking nothing down. I'm not toning a motherfucking thing down. You got the game fucked up if you think Shaka Sankofa and the Street Law Soldiers are just some a fucking kumbaya goddamn organization, you know, where we sit around and hold hands with every motherfucking body. This is a black created by myself and Brother Harris Abdul, created by us for the purpose of helping us. We don't need no help. We don't need no infiltration. We don't need nobody to analyze us, interview us, or none of that shit from anybody from the opposition. So if you're not pro-black, if you're not down for your people, this is not the motherfucking station for you. This is not the show for you. And so, let's get that clear. As far as profanity and cursing and all of that, some of y'all, I have to reach y'all like that. And a lot of you don't have problems with that because most of you curse, 99% of you curse anyway. Anyway. But you want to hold somebody else accountable and you can't hold yourself accountable. And then, especially the sisters who love to hear the raw truth, the way I bring it, the way I bring it to the table. Because there's not a lot of brothers that are doing that. A lot of them are salting shit down, being passive, and they are afraid to stand up. They are afraid to face death. Why would you be afraid to face something that's inevitable? Why go down in history as some fuck punk nigga? Go down with some pride and dignity. Go down there as a stand-up individual. Go down in history so you can be remembered and not forgotten a week later. Because unfortunately, a lot of you all, a lot of us are going to be forgotten about a week after making your transition. Because you did not count for anything. You never stood up and faced adversity. So your great-great-great-grandchildren will look at you, if they look at you, as just a regular person that didn't do shit, that got along, to go along, to get along, and was executed by FEMA. Instead of being someone who stood up in the face of adversity. Black people are being treated wrong to the core of this devil. And we need to stop acting as if everything is okay when it's not. So these HBCs ain't, they're not shit. They don't mean shit. And when it comes to having some type of career, now I'm not discouraging. I don't want to discourage any of my brothers and sisters from attending these HBCs. Go on and get your Euro education. Go as far as you can. But one thing that is important, that you find some people, a group, or a person, someone that can help you further your education by teaching you knowledge yourself. That is more important than anything. And they're not going to teach you that in its entirety. Even though it's a HBC, a lot of those black professors are afraid to drop that real truth down. And a lot of them have been fired over the years for telling the raw truth, giving that raw truth out. So you will have to find knowledge yourself. And there's plenty of avenues. We all know that. If you can find your way to the nearest bar, to the nearest nightclub, and where all the loud is being sold at and all this bullshit, you can find knowledge yourself. And so, why these devils, and this is why they rule the goddamn world right now, economically, in every way you can name. They have total domination. But they know there's one thing that is in the way of them completely having 100% domination and control over the planet, and that is the black man and woman. Zbigniew Brzezinski said it in his book. He said the greatest threat to white annihilation is Pan-Africanism is the black youth, the urban motherfucking gorilla. Because, see, right now, when they get to the point that where they don't give a fuck about this cracker and begin to have love for their own, this cracker's in trouble. This cracker, white America will be in serious goddamn trouble. When the black youth wake up and point his gun in the right motherfucking direction, the white motherfucking, the white man will be in some serious goddamn trouble. He will sink in quicksand like a motherfucker. But we are so afraid of him. We are so afraid of him. And what we do now, just like on these YouTube stations, I'm not mentioning no one's name because I don't do that. I don't do that for anyone that claims to trying to be conscious or has a channel. But I don't cut any corners. I give it to the people. I give it to you all as raw as I can possibly give it to you. I'm not going to talk like some motherfucking tight ass motherfucking bookworm. That's not me. That is not me. You know, and that is not you either when you really realize it. Because we use Ebonics. Because this is not our real language that we're talking anyway. This English is a second language for real. We don't know our original language. And so that's why we say the things we say in the way that we say them. Because this is not our language. We just adapted to this language. And that's why we curve a lot of consonants and vowels in our talk. You know, Johnny, he gone. He be back later on. He not here. You know, that type of dialect. You know, nevertheless, you know, our ancestors put in a lot of work. And that's another reason why we need to give honor and credence to our ancestors. They're the ones that taught us how to talk. Your grandmother taught your mother how to talk, and your great-grandmother taught your grandmother how to talk, and so on and so on. And then you say that you give your honor to whoever's responsible for putting money in your motherfucking pocket, opposed to who gave your ass life and taught you the things that you know. And see, a lot of you will disown your own people. A lot of you that work for what, corporate America, you are ashamed to bring your people around these goddamn crackers. These stinking, dirty motherfucking crackers. And see, if I was working for the cracker, I would bring all my family to let them know, motherfucker, if any of you motherfuckers jump out there, this is who you gonna be dealing with. Because we all come to see you motherfuckers. I'm not one of them motherfucking ones that you can, you know, go in the break room in the water cooler and talk about like a motherfucking dog, you know, with another nigga standing there agreeing, thinking he gonna get something extra or win the trust of the devil, and then come in your face. And see, that's why I say the black Asian rat provocateur is the most dangerous motherfucker and one of the ones that is a major hindrance to black liberation. In order for us to get our liberation, brothers and sisters, and let me just tell you what it entails of. We have half of the malls, half of the airports, half of the grocery stores, half of the supermarkets, half of the auto industry, half of the clothing industry, half of the movie industry, half of the sports teams. This is what we get with reparations. I'm talking about true, full reparations. When it's tallied up, this is what it should come up to. But yet we're sitting here. Now, you're sitting here on a plantation voting to see who is the best slave master. See which slave master is the nicest. See which slave master doesn't whip you as hard as the rest. And that's who you will vote to put in office for president. That's who you will vote to put in office as mayor. That's who you will vote to put in office as governor. And then the ones who talk real good, that'll tell you that he's not going to use any whip. He's throwing the whip away and make you go haywire into voting for him. And then in fact, his whip is bigger than the last motherfuckers. So, you know, we have to stop this dumb shit, fucking with this cracker who is a nasty motherfucker. I was talking to some people about watching Game of Thrones once again, you know, letting people know how dirty it is and how the cracker, his homosexuality, bisexuality, lesbianism is just wide open. I mean, they talk dirty, nasty, and this is the real devil. This is a real cracker, the real cracker during medieval times. Excuse me, sir, where is Sir William? Because he has a big cock, and we need his cock for the tub. This is how they be talking. Where are the little boys at? And bring the little boys in the palace to see the king. The king would like to have dinner with the boys naked in the nude, sir. This is why I tell y'all to watch this shit. This is why it is the most watched television show on the planet right now. Because it reinforces these crackers' ancestry. And they have PlayStation games that they got everything in Game of Thrones. And so, if you want, it's always best to know who your enemy is. Learn your enemy. So you know his weaknesses as well as his strengths, his little bit of strengths that he has. And remember, sisters, especially sisters, y'all were the first ones on the planet. There are no remains that supersede the black woman here on this planet. And you all gave everybody permission to exist. Everybody. And so when they talk about in these scriptures about the Adam and Eve bit the apple and they became naked and all this cursed bullshit, they are literally talking about themselves. The cracker is talking about him. That cursed race. That motherfucking serpent. And they love that shit. They love being the serpent. They love dragons and dungeons and all this bullshit. Look how these crackers do. If you Criminal Minds, when these motherfuckers have these dungeons set up in their basement, torture chambers, where they have these young white girls all on these types of machines, stretching them and all this type of bullshit, you know, in dog houses, on all fours. This is his motherfucking nature. The same as this motherfucking shooting up in Colorado. You know, white boy being teased. He come back, start busting caps and motherfuckers. Now, they look at him now, what they're doing, he wasn't beat up, they weren't murdered or anything. Had that been in the hood, and it was Jamal and Raheem, they would have been murdered in that goddamn school. They will still have smoke coming off their motherfucking bodies right now. But since it was these motherfucking crackers, you know, they gonna analyze him and find out what happened and was he a victim of bullyization and all this shit. And he's not getting no death penalty or anything like that. He's gonna do, he'll be in jail for about 20 years if he goes to jail. He might go into a motherfucking hospital for the criminally insane. If the money is long enough and he play his cards right. And so the people he shot, why would he go in there and shoot for nothing? And then, he got burned in the head like a sister. So, who knows what took place in there? We know he probably was teased and he gave them jocks, them old white motherfucking fag jocks who play football and all this shit and wear the motherfucking high school leather jackets and all this. The girls all around him and shit. So he thinks that he can just say what he wants because his parents are judges and lawyers in that motherfucking town. These are these white privileged motherfucking dogs. And so teasing that boy, probably led to him, going to get that motherfucking iron and putting fire in motherfuckers' asses. David Clark, this black motherfucking nigga, what you got to say about that? Trump is going to take up for him regardless. Point blank. If Obama was president, Obama would be with the victims up there. He would be in their living room crying. But he was nowhere to be found to go over Mike Brown's house. Nowhere to be found to Eric Gardner's people. Why didn't you have a motorcade go to their houses and sit on their couch and break bread and cry with them?